What's good, Brody?
What's good in the hood? What's going on? How are things in my old stomping grounds of Suffolk County?
As racist as they ever been. Yo, I was talking to a colleague the other day, man, and we were having lunch and laughs, and I was telling her how being on Suffolk County is akin to being in Mississippi. It's very similar. I think that if they could redistrict out here and redraw these, bro,
I mean, they already did years ago because it was different when I was like, it's wild too, right? Because Suffolk County has the like anywhere else, they're like pockets, right? Of like where I went to high school, where I grew up in Brentwood, Wyandanch, like that whole like central line. It's like Wyandanch, Brentwood, parts of Bayshore, Central Islip, like that whole line right there.
Shirley,
yeah, Mastic. Like there's like a line in between the LIE and the Southern State that is
absolutely.
like is down, and then the rest of it is just wow.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're right. It's definitely lines that have been drawn, and bro, I just try to stay under the radar, man, to try to stay out these people's way.
Yeah.
By continuing to try to do the good work, man. That's it.
That's all we can do is do the good work.
All right, man. We jumping in. Knicks Eastern Conference Finals. Who do you think is the best opponent for us, man?
I don't know, man. It's a slugfest out there between the Cavs and the Pistons right now. And the game the other night was a perfect example that was a nail biter the whole way through. And I would have, before the playoffs started, I would have said, bring on the Cavs because I don't want nothing to do with the Pistons. But I don't know. The Cavs look just as mighty right now as they're running around doing their things.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting that you should say that, right? Because I feel like we can compete against anybody. So, like, I don't have a preference, bro. I'm like, yo, just bring them on. As long as OG is good, I feel like we're good. And like, truth be told, I think that these folks are about to get $1,000 out of me, man. I think I'm about to go ahead and get some tickets. I think I'm about to do it, man. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I was talking to one of my colleagues, and he's talking about like going to the World Cup in Jersey. Yeah. And he's like, why would he's like, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I'm thinking to myself, like, the last time we've been to the Eastern Conference Finals was like 25 years ago. And so this might be the last time in my lifetime that the Knicks go to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I may want to head to the Garden to see if we can get some things done.
Listen, it's facts because, growing up out here and watching them early 90s Knick teams, right? We thought with Pat, we were going to be perennial, right? Going back and forth every time.
Yeah, but you didn't anticipate having to go against a Jordan or a Bird or Dennis Rodman and Isaiah
or apparently Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon.
Them too.
Right?
The dream is the dream, bro.
The dream is the dream. And so, like, and to realize that, it's been since 94, the last time we was in a final. It's been 25 years the last time we were in the Eastern Conference final. These things don't happen that often. And,
it doesn't happen that often for us. I mean, there's some teams that's there every year. So,
but it was wild. I think with the NBA, right, is like when you got a good Knicks team, right, when you got to go through New York to get through finals, it's a better league, right? It always is a better league, and so I just think, look, and I'm like you, bring on either one of them. They may make me more or less nervous. I'm actually most nervous around OKC, but that's besides the point.
Listen. So now that you got me talking out loud, I may have to rethink it. Right? I feel like if we go to if we go to Detroit,
we've got to play in Detroit. Yeah.
It's actually more affordable to have a 5-star hotel in floor seats. At their arena.
But we don't have home court if we go to Detroit, right?
Nosebleeds at MSG, so I might be in Detroit.
I mean, deal. You gonna tell me that Cleveland's gonna be that more expensive? You probably find good seats in Cleveland too for not too expensive.
Yeah, but I don't want to go to Cleveland. Oh wait, no. Yeah. I go to Cleveland. Yeah, Shador is my man, yo. I go see Shador. Shout out number 2.
I mean, do we know what's the latest on OG? I haven't even looked.
He's gonna be OG, all right. They're anticipating for OG to be ready for game 1. I mean, it's not like he didn't get a nice little rest with the sweep.
I mean, he was going to be resting anyway, but yeah.
Yeah. But Philly fans, you're welcome. We got y'all through the process.
I was reading something of like the top 10 players who just need to retire. I think Embiid was like number 4. They're like, yo, he just needs to retire.
I feel like Embiid under the right circumstances still has some things left. So I would love for Embiid to be. Listen, let's not get this twisted. No, I prefer Embiid over Cat.
Oh, any day. Yeah. any day. And I'll make the trade right now. I used to think that I think sports should be made up where as you in the playoffs, if you get to the next round of the playoffs, you should be able to choose the best players from the last team to add
the best player that got ousted from
previous rounds.
Yo, we giving these people thoughts on how to create an amazing league right there, baby.
Then you truly get East versus West, right? Because then the finals are always a high ticket East versus West, best players on the court all the time.
What the All-Star game should be.
Exactly instead of just nobody playing defense because nothing really matters.
Right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, segueing on. There was some data released, and I don't have the graphic for this, but there's some data released that talked about the education woes of K-12, and that there's like a downslide of K-12 education for the past 10 years, and we're just going through it right now. Did you read it? I don't know.
I didn't read it, but I think it makes sense. I think we have too quickly put out of our head the fact that there was a significant disruption in education between 20 and 21. I think it is convenient for a lot of people to go past the fact that we had to completely disrupt education for those 2 years.
No.
And no, you don't think?
No. Hell no. See, I think when we have this conversation about education woes, I think we give people outs by talking about COVID, because kids couldn't read before COVID, bro. Right? These kids cannot read before COVID. And so saying that COVID is the reason why these kids are having problems is just not true. It's very factually untrue. These schools were doing terribly prior to COVID.
Well, listen, we know that kids can't read because adults can't get along, right? At the end of the day, that's what the problem is, right? And that is good. That is long-standing the problem.
Yeah, but right? but bro, that stems from that statement right there is such a bar, because it doesn't just talk about what happens in the classroom. That also talks about what happens in the home, right? Like when parents can't get along in the home, and there's
school boards, right? I think policy professionals, folks who try to understand curriculum. I think there's so much back and forth that goes on. Even the fight over standardized tests. Do we care about standardized tests? Do we not care about standardized? We can't get aligned on education, and so how can students be ready for it?
So I got a funny thing for you, right? So union folks, right, when they're talking about charter schools or whatever, the first thing they say is, "Oh, they teach to the test." Yeah. No, actually, we teach to the standard. And if you guys were teaching to the standard, then you wouldn't have problems with the tests. Right? Because the tests are based off of standards. And so it's a reframe, right? It's like, yo, don't tell me that we're teaching to the test. No, we're teaching to the standard. And we're doing everything that we should be doing because the tests are based off of standards. And so when you go in and you do a breakdown of how these kids are scoring on these tests, they tell you based off of this standard for this grade, right? So all that is hogwash, bro. Teaching to the test, Bro, I would rather have a functioning, literate student that has been taught to the test than a well-rounded, wholly educated non-reader.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're, I've spent a long time with a test producer who shall not be named at this moment, but
I worked for them too at one point.
But the reality is, if you're creating good assessments and they're based on key standards of what is necessary, then teaching to the standards is teaching to the test, and they should not be different. You should not have different standards from assessments. And so that's a complaint that we can have, and we can talk about whether or not the tests are an accurate reflection of the standards. But at the end of the day, if those two things are aligned, then it shouldn't matter. And I say all the time, I'm like, I think we far too often put the onus on the test production instead of the educational environment, right? Like, oh, the students didn't do well on this test, that's why this test isn't good. And I'm like, time out. It's like when I get on a scale. It is not the scale's fault that the weight went up.
I'm not letting you do this to yourself. No, we love you. We love you, Dave. We love you.
But my point is, we blame the measurement tool instead of the really what needs to be looked at, which is the educational environment, or Steve Cologne's eating habits, right? It's got to be one of two of those things. It can't be. It's not the scale's fault, right? Yeah. That I'm, it's trending in the direction I don't want to trend.
Exactly. And what are you going to do about it, right? Like,
right. What are you going to do
besides this money grab that people tend to want to do? Like, oh, if we throw more money at the problem, then hey, kids are going to score better. And then when they don't, get mad at taxpayers for not wanting to fund it, because they're like, hey, this shit's got to end. I'm not going to keep giving you money for something that is clearly not being solved. And you cannot be mad or upset with taxpayers for not continuing to want to foot the bill for something that is getting no results. It's similar to like what's happening in Congress right now, bro.
Yeah.
Like, really? What? Like we're gonna pay $500 million for a ballroom that we're never gonna see. I'm never going to that ballroom. Like I'm never gonna be invited to that ballroom, bro.
You don't know that. You don't know that. Come on, you might get
unless you run for president and you're like, yo, come kick it. Let's do a podcast from the ballroom.
We're gonna watch the Knicks game in a big ass screen in the ballroom.
Yeah, and I would be there. I would be there with yes. Yeah.
I think that's right. I mean, I think but at the same time too, we're also too quick to abandon strategies, right? Like we don't allow strategies to take hold, right? I mean, I feel at times the whiplash between how we should teach math, how we should teach reading, right? Like I feel like we get into these trendy sort of teaching. And it's hard as a parent to be able to support your student when they're learning math in a completely different way than you learned math. And then it's on you to have to learn how to do math the way your kids are doing math so you can help them do math. It's a wild and humbling experience to have young people and have kids and have sons and daughters in the classroom, because let me tell you, it's wild to try to help them with some of their homework.
1000%, bro. I could not agree with you more in terms of just like how Common Core kind of punches in the face in terms of how we now have to teach versus how we learned. And so I used to argue with my daughter, like, nah, this is the answer. Well, no, this is not how my teacher said that I need to get to this answer. And so now she's high honor roll and I'm not. I probably
you're still trying to remember your times tables.
Yes. And so clearly something worked in terms of how they were teaching it to her, and it sunk in for her, and all the better. But parents definitely have to like make the adjustments in order to be able to continue to help their kids, or you can be upper middle class, rich, and hire tutors.
YouTube would do the same thing for you. It taught me a lot of math.
Yeah. All right. Segue before we get into the heavy stuff. So we had this, man. I don't know if you saw this, man. But it's a lot of music. It's like 40 tracks, he dropped 3 albums. He dropped the Iceman and then the other 2, we'll call them, because I'm probably not gonna listen to the other 2. And so,
I'm probably not gonna listen to any of it. I'm not gonna lie. I am not a huge fan, but that's besides the point.
you know, there's a Bad Bunny track in there.
I know. That may be the only
so
thing
you ain't gonna not listen to that. Stop fronting.
Maybe I'll listen to the Bad Bunny track.
I know you don't.
I'll be like you. I'll hear you talk about it for a long time, and then be like, maybe I'll listen to it later. Like how long it took for me to get you to listen to Bad Bunny.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be transparent and be honest with y'all, right? Like when I saw Sexy Red featured, I'm like, wait, what's happening? I'm gonna have to listen to that because, like, low key, I hate her like being introduced to students and like it being classroom rituals, and we're gonna do chants based off. But I low key love her though. Like my ratchet ways won't let me not listen to her. Like, yo, I'll be chilling. Like my wife will look over, she'd be like, "What?" She's like, "He must be listening to Sexy Red."
What are you listening to? What the hell are you listening to?
Yeah,
I get that look. I get that look quite often at home, especially because not only am I taste ratchet, but I refuse to buy radio edits, and so I just make sure I just tell my kids like you can hear it, but you just can't say it, right? Like you just that's the rule.
So let me ask you, man, because you went through this beef, you took a side, all that, right?
I don't know. I took a side. I think I had a pre-existing side, but okay.
Yeah, you had a pre-existing side, right? And so, why do you think he's hated so much, though? I got a theory.
I mean, one, I don't know that anyone considers Canada the place where hip hop is known for. I mean, hockey, yes, but hip hop, nah. I also, for a long time, I don't know that I considered him a rapper, right? And so I like put him in a different genre of music altogether. Like I put him in like the hip hop R&B genre. And in that genre, it just wasn't what I was into. And then so people would tell me like, oh, I think he's one of the top 5 rappers of all time. And I'm like, nah.
Okay.
Nah. I think that might be what it is, because I didn't consider him like a hip-hop rapper for a long time.
Okay. Now, listen, I like to have data-driven arguments, right? Like I'm
not arguing you. You asked me what I think, and that's what I think.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying in general, right? Like I have data-driven discussion. Right? Yeah. And so based off of the data, right? This guy is a phenomenal artist, right? Like a phenomenal artist. Like he's got ashes shaking. He's got people thinking. He's got people, and right now he has people talking, right? And so love or hate him, he has the masses talking about these 3 albums, which means that it's going to equate to downloads for people to have opinions, money, people to have think pieces or whatever. And there were a couple of tracks that I listened to that talked about him doing deep work within himself, right? And so whenever you, especially on
recovery work from the last beef,
maybe, but whatever it is, whenever you have a black presenting person that is talking about doing deep internal work, that is always going to be good for me, right? That's always going to be good for me, especially when you have someone that has that type of fan base or whatever, and he's talking in that manner, right? And he's going to say 1,000 things that are contrarian to that, yes. But that one thing, like I'd rather stick on that central message of he's doing deep internal work. And then also, I could be friends with someone that doesn't like Drake.
You are,
right? Yeah, I can be really good friends with someone that doesn't like Drake. However, I don't know if I could be friends with someone that is a MAGA supporter. Like it's 2 totally different things, right? Like it's 2.
I was wondering where you were going.
Yeah, it's 2 totally different things. I can't like. One person, like you're basing it off of music and vibes or whatever. Then the other person is like, yo, they hate you. They want you up out of this world. They want you to not be able to vote. They want you to not be able to make money, like do nothing.
One is a difference of taste. The other is a difference of values.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I get you. I mean, I consider Drake like I consider deep dish pizza.
Oh, I like pizza. I like deep dish
Right.
pizza.
Listen, I think that deep dish pizza, right, is tasty. And there are times where I'm in the mood for deep dish pizza, but I don't consider that pizza. I consider it a whole different type of food.
What is it,
right?
lasagna?
I like to quote the Daily Show, and he calls it a casserole, and it feels more to me like a casserole, and that's not to say it's not tasty and it's not good, and there aren't times in which you're in the mood for casserole. It's just not pizza, and that is the way I feel about Drake. That's not to say that he doesn't have songs that I don't like. I can't get down with, and there's some beats, and there's like, but he is not a hip hop. He's not rapper to me, right? And so I have to create a new genre for him to appreciate his music in a way that to
see this right here. You see that? You see that right there? You see that thing right there? That is the real glove right there. That is Michael Jackson's real glove. Because on Billboard this week, he will break the record for having the most #1 albums. Right?
I know.
And that is a feat.
They sell a lot of deep dish pizza. I'm not saying it's bad.
Fair enough.
There's a pizzeria Uno in like every city in the world.
Is there?
I don't know, but there's one here. There's a few here in New York.
Chicago people are gonna be upset with you.
I work with a bunch of people from Chicago, and this is a point of contention.
Gonna be upset. What's that go to? All right, so last thing, your guy. He goes to China, makes a damn fool of himself, right? Usually when an American president goes somewhere, they go from a place of strength, right? A place
and
of
strategy,
a place of strength and strategy. Not let me just pull this out of my butt and just go and just show up or whatever, right? And then also, it's one thing for bro to be here and talk all the gibberish and whatever he talks or whatever, and it be here, not on the world stage, right? Because the functioning literacy level for people here is very low, and so maybe they can understand him. I don't, right? But maybe they can. I'm just saying.
No, I get you.
The people, is that number 60? I think it might be 60 that read 50 plus percent of people that read under a 6th grade reading level. Those are the people that he's talking to mostly, right? And then from the economy perspective, he may be talking to the top 1% in terms of the things the things that he does, right?
Right.
But when we're on a world stage and you got him saying the things that he says or whatever, that just makes us all look bad, bro.
Yeah, and I was trying to understand why the trip, why go there, right? Why now?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying these things are related. I'm just saying that they're interesting that they are coming around at the same time.
Okay, I want to hear this.
So for the last month, they have been getting hammered because all those poor people who spend a lot of money to pre-order their Trump phones have not received their Trump phones, which are being made in China. And suddenly, I don't know, a couple days ago, the company said, we are going to start fulfilling orders soon. And then I look up and he's in China, and who is coming off the plane right behind him but Tim Cook, person who's really relatively well known for making phones in China. And so I'm not saying that that they're connected. I'm just saying that I've noticed that the timing is people who are less familiar.
Connective tissue right there.
People who are less familiar with the law of large numbers and random occurrence might say that there was something there.
Yeah.
I'm willing to chalk it up to just coincidence, but it was interesting anyway.
Yeah. That is wow, bro. Wow. And so one of the contentious things that is occurring right now is this aid package that we have, weapons going to Taiwan. Like that's an extremely contentious concern for the Chinese. And to be quite honest, I feel like they're in a position of strength. And reason being is because if we are we're expending all of our resources in Iran, a war that we should have never been in the first place, it's kind of like you see things and you learn from people's mistakes, right? And so we didn't learn from Russia's mistakes with Ukraine, because had we done so, then we would have rethought this whole thing, and then the powers that be wouldn't have been able to drag us into this dumbass war. But this is a dumb war, because had you thought about it going in, you would have said to yourself, okay, what are all the things that Iranians can do in order to make life miserable, right? But what you do is you go into a place like Venezuela that can't like push back the way that an Iran can push back, and then you start beating your chest with this confidence, thinking that, okay, if we did it to the Venezuelans, then we can do it to the Iranians, and that's not what happened.
Typical bully behavior.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think that the reality is, right, and this is no offense to any other country in the world, but next to Russia, and maybe more than Russia, China may be the closest to us in terms of its military might.
1,000%. Because Russia has proven to not even be.
Yeah.
But what I will say is this, right? Not to cut you off, is that war has changed, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen this in terms of the technology that is being exhibited by Ukraine and the technology
and Iran.
And the technology that's being exhibited by Iran, right? Like war has changed.
$50 drones taking down things, right? Like they just come out as a $50 drones.
Yeah.
And unlike those other places, or maybe close to those other places, there's so much trade and commerce between China and the US that, like, economically, it doesn't make sense to be hostile to them in a military way. We need to be hostile when it comes to like trade negotiations and all of that stuff. But and so it just feels like a place where you should tread lightly.
Well, yes and no, right? Because like Taiwan's position allows for America to kind of keep China in check, and so that place and space is really important to the security of the American people, right?
Yeah, but I mean, let's not forget, but Taiwan's safety is so inextricably connected to the U.S. that, like, it will be tough enough for the U.S. to be in a military conflict, but like to be in a proxy war where it's Taiwan and China, and we are just trying to feed. Like it's going to be a drain on our systems, as some of the other wars that are going on right now are a drain on our systems.
So just to be clear, if there was ever a confrontation between the Chinese and the Taiwanese, America would have to fight that war for Taiwan. That's the only way that it would be anything worthwhile for the Taiwanese people, right?
Yeah. More intensively and more expensively than we are with Yugoslavia. I mean, with the Ukraine, more extensively and
Ukraine's boss.
But I mean, more extensively, we would be spending more in terms of capital, resources, and energy to fight that than any of the ones that we are
right now. We've spent money on Ukraine, but right now the UK and the United Kingdom is all we're doing is providing tech, and we're not even really doing that. They're providing us with tech now.
Yes, and it's not as if we're taking a lot of IOUs for sending a lot of the stuff over there that's being sent over there. It's not all being paid up front, and so regardless, like depending on how that war turns up, we may never see that money. So
no, I don't know that to be true. I don't know how much you've been following this war, but like I said, Ukraine is bossing up, bro. Hey. whenever you have someone that is the authoritarian that is now beneath the underground, like hiding and worrying about coups and worrying about all this other stuff and whatnot. Whenever you have a president that says, "Hey, yeah, we won't blow up your celebration parade with drones or whatever," like that's coming from a position of power. I like what Zelensky in Ukraine is doing.
I am not suggesting that I don't like what they're doing. What I'm saying is the U.S. is in it from a financial perspective and in it from a right. And so, like with Taiwan, we would be in it from a financial perspective. From a
we would have to be in it more than that.
But I know we'd be, and I'm saying we'd be in it more in Taiwan than we are anywhere else. Yeah. And that is unnerving given who China is.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. All right. Final
thought. I'm not sure who to root for tonight. Tonight I'm going to root for Detroit simply because I want this series to go to 7 games, because I want either team to be as tired as possible going into game 1 against the Knicks.
Gotcha. Well, my final thought is this. If you are a school leader and you have a teaching staff, it should not come as a surprise to anyone that's on your staff if they're not being renewed. Those conversations should have been conversations that should have been being had all year, and it should not be of any surprise. If it is a surprise, then you failed as a leader. That is my final thought. All right, my guy. We out of here. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Maybe